recap the BYU game, preview Wyoming, and then take a few questions.
Okay. Obviously, tough defeat, no question about it, like we knew when we walked out of there on Friday night, so that has not changed. The one thing I would say is games at BYU going down to the last play is something I'm kind of used to over the years, so that doesn't surprise me at the end. Obviously, the outcome is not what we were looking for. I thought the kids competed at a high level. There's obviously a lot of things we can fix. There's always things you can fix, but I thought we handled the atmosphere well. Wasn't a factor. We jumped off sides a couple critical scenarios, but other than that, I thought for a freshman quarterback to walk into that atmosphere just as he did when he walked into Auburn was a positive from a communication standpoint, and giving us an opportunity to be able to move the offense and function. So ran the ball well again. We need to throw the ball better on offense. That's bottom line. We just need to. But we are running the ball well. Defensively, we're continue to play BYU in that setting, in that situation, and who they are. My belief is you can let them run the ball a little bit and do some things. So the way they ran the ball, I don't believe was a factor. But we need to play the throw game better on the defensive side of the football. Period. So that's kind of where I see it in the long and the short of it. And lightning does not strike in the same place 3 times in a row. So we need to evaluate the program from A to Z and see what we can do better as coaches, see what the kids can do better as players, and understand exactly where we're at. So we are where we are, and we're here for a reason. So we need to find a way to be able to win those games at the end. Wyoming. Let's talk about Wyoming real quick then. Wyoming is won games. Bottom line, they've won 3 games. Had a game at home against Nebraska where they did some very good things and had a couple opportunities to score, and didn't happen for them, but I think they've played solid throughout the year and believe they can win, and they have won. So it's a credit to them. It will be a big challenge for us offensively. They're a big offensive line. It's a spread offense for the most part. They want to be able to throw the ball and take some shots down the field with the play action. A young quarterback who's doing a nice job, in my opinion. 2 running backs that run the ball well, and so they've been an effective offense, and they've done what they've had to do to win football games. On the defensive side of the ball, have not watched a snap of them, so I can't tell you much about them. So Dave will have to share those thoughts with you, and when he gets to that point. But what I've looked at on the offensive side of the ball is obviously trying to get the defense ready to be able to play, and the offensive guys will have to handle that. But obviously they've played well enough to win games, and I did see him in Weber, first game of the year. Obviously we were getting ready to play Weber, so I saw him there. I know they have an unbelievably talented corner. I think he's maybe the best corner we've played against this year. I believe his number is number 4. He's a very good football player. They're physical up front. They play a little bit of the tilt front and move around and do some things, but that's about all I can really tell you about the offense, and trying to get us where we can be on the defensive side of the ball. And special teams wise, we'll start breaking that down, and Coach Bush already has a game plan in for that, but I have not sat down and met with Coach Bush on that this week. So I'm sure they'll be well schooled and well coached in that area, also being a 3-1 football team that they are.
You said lightning doesn't strike 3 times in the same place, meaning it's not luck. It's
not luck.
Us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not a real believer in luck, and on either way, bad luck or good luck. I don't believe in it. So I don't think our kids believe in it, and it's not like I've said before. It's not a curse. It's not a secret that graveyard that's out there that's causing us to have problems or whatever. I mean, I've heard it all. I've got all the emails. I've got all the information on all that stuff, and I don't believe in any of it. So that's where I sit. We need to find a way to be able to, create. If you want to call it luck, then we got to create luck. We got to make a play to make it happen. And at that point, you've obviously prepared for that situation, and that doesn't make it lucky. So we'll be fine. We'll keep playing hard. These kids care, and they're excited about the opportunity to go out and compete again. And so is the staff, and we are where we are, and that is the facts. And we're we're going to play good teams now. You look at the schedule for not just against Wyoming, but you look at the schedule for the next month, and it's not real easy. So it hasn't been easy to this point, and it's not going to be real easy. You look at La Tech's playing well, Hawaii's playing well, Fresno's playing well, Wyoming's playing well. That's our next 4 opponents. So we got our work cut out for us. So we better find a way to be able to finish, because we're not going to walk into games and say, oh, this thing's over in the third quarter and away we go. So they're going to be dogfights all the way through for a long period of time coming at us.
Is there something consistently that's popping up in these late game situations then? If it's
No, because it's so in so many different areas. It's we have an opportunity in the last game to win it on offense. We have an opportunity to win it on the defensive side 2 or 3 times, and it's I can't sit back and say it's calls. We've had an opportunity to win it and make a play on special teams, not really win it on special teams, but not necessarily lose it on special teams, and haven't been able to do that. So it's kind of throughout, and we need to keep fighting to find a way to make those plays, because we are, you sit back and what did you want to get good at the first of the year, to improve on from the year before. Pretty much every one of those areas we're doing a good job in, but we're not doing a good job of the final few minutes of the football game to be able to end it. And I don't think I stated last week at Colorado State with the down of the defensive lineman that we were down at that point, that was a factor possibly with fatigue. I don't feel like that at all in the BYU game. We played a bunch of snaps on defense. I think it was 49 snaps in the first half. That's a lot of snaps to play in the first half of a football game. We were down a couple guys. Obviously, we were down McCade Brady, but I thought Chris stepped in and did a great job. Alfred stepped in and did a great job, and we didn't really miss a beat there.
When you evaluated the film was that a Hail Mary pass that he's throwing there at the end? I mean, it didn't look like he just chucked it up down the middle. Is that
the one before the touchdown?
Yeah, the one that set him up.
Yeah,
what's your feeling, and how did you play that play and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think he made us miss 3 times in the backfield. So he made us miss when he went to the left, he made us miss in the middle, and he made us miss when he went to the right. And we had our Kyle Gallagher was honed in on him on the last shot, and it was just a step late before he could get there. So I think Riley saw something obviously down the middle of the field, and Walter's there. Walter's arm, the kid's hands are there, and the ball's there, and the kid comes out with the ball. So it's not like we didn't have a defender in the area. It's not like the kid wasn't there in position to be able to make a play. It didn't happen for him, unfortunately. And fortunately for BYU, it happened for them. So it was a bang-bang play. Walter couldn't be really in a better spot, and nobody cares more about making that play on this football team than Walter, I promise you that much, and it didn't happen for him. But, in that last drive, we were pretty aggressive. I mean, we had 4-0 blitzes called throughout that drive. A couple zone dogs that were built into it on the backside, and BYU did a nice job. They couldn't get the ball off and check it down on the one to the tight end. They ended up overthrowing him, but that we played that really just like it was a last drive, not really of the game. Excuse me, not the last drive of the game. Just they had time to be able to move down the field at their own pace, and they made some plays. So it was a little bit of a 2-minute situation, but not really until it got to about the 30-yard line going in. I think time was a little bit more of a factor, and then after they threw the big ball, then it was just football again. And on the last play, we zero blitzed them, and ball got tipped in the air and came out quick, and they caught it.
You talk about your red zone defense at this point in the season. It seems like one of the areas that needs improvement.
Yeah, we're not playing real good in the red zone. People are kicking field goals and making them at times, and at the end of the day, I think they're 14 for 14 is what they are. Field goals to me are a win for the defense, so I take those out of there, but I don't have those numbers in front of me, so I couldn't tell you exactly where we're sitting as far as number of field goals versus number of touchdowns. But our goal at the end of the day is to force them to kick field goals, and we can be better in that setting. No question, we can be better. We've been down there quite a lot. Obviously, the overtime game skews that a little bit, but we can be better in the red zone and make plays. Yeah, it's not enough. So need a few more. Get them to kick it a few more times. So, to me, a field goal attempt in that situation is a win. So you want to hone in on D down there and find a way to get them to not score touchdowns. And we've just been very average down there at best on defense.
Injury-wise, where are you looking at?
I think we'll be okay. I think we're in pretty good shape right now. So, walked out of that game pretty healthy, and I don't see any big issues at this point.
Looked like you're in tryouts for your kickoff, man.
Yeah, we had brought Jaron in there. Jaron got the ball up. We did not kick the ball off well in that football game. they did and we didn't. So obviously we've got to be able to kick the ball. You want to be able to kick the ball out. It sounds easy. It's not. We've had that discussion before. So we got to be able to get the ball up in the air and give us a chance to be able to carry it as deep as we can and cover down. I thought Jaron came in and got the ball up in the air. The ball landed on, I think his kick landed on about the 4 or 5. As long as it's up there long enough, that's good. It's when it lands on the 4 or the 5 and it's up there for 3.5 seconds. Now you got an issue on your hands. The bottom line is it's where they catch it and where are the defenders when you catch it. And if you're not right near that 30-yard line or better when he catches the football, you're going to have a heck of a time covering kicks. And there was 2 times in this game we covered it very, very well, but we were on about the 36-yard line when the ball was caught, and that's going to get you in trouble if you can't fix it.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your career?
No. No, not. It's a challenge. You go up and down, you go back and forth emotionally, and not really for myself. It's for the kids, and especially when they're so close. That's the hardest part about it. So what you do is you got to just look at yourself and see if there's something you can do to make it be better. You got to look at the kids and see if there's something that you can help them do better, and you got to look at your coaches and see if there's something that they can do better. And we'll tweak a few things here and there, and things that I've seen that can possibly help us. Is it going to go out and help us really win those games? I can't say that. I mean, you look at every one of those situations, and we don't work on a ball being tipped in the end zone in zero coverage and the guy runs across and catches it. I mean, I don't have a drill for that, so it's not something we do every day. But it is what it is. So, but it's a struggle emotionally. There's no question. When you put so much into it and you get 12 opportunities and 3 of them are so close to having a great ending, but that's the absolutes of college football. Either you win or you lose, and that's where you sit. So we got to grow from it because that's the hand we've been dealt.
So your feeling is emotionally, your guys though are handling it, even though you're losing these close games that eventually you'd think would start to knock you down a little bit.
Yeah, I would think. I think it's. I think we're handling it well. I think we will handle it well. They were in here again this morning at 6 o'clock and working hard, and they'll be studying the film. And I'm not telling you they're happy. I'm not telling you they're doing backflips because they're losing games. But the one thing I would say is they understand now, and I believe that they believe they can play with anybody from a physicality standpoint. I think they believe that they can play with anybody in any stadium. And is that satisfaction? I can't say it's the ultimate satisfaction, but it does help them go to prepare for the next game, understanding that we can beat anybody that we play if we take care of our business. And we're gonna. You got to learn somehow, some way to win games. And I don't have the magic recipe for that. I've been around teams that find a way to make a play, and I've been on teams that have walked through, and 2004 at Utah we walked through pretty much everybody and everybody made plays. It didn't matter. In 2008 it was the complete opposite. I mean, we could have lost 6 games, but we found a way to win those games in the end, and it was that's what we've got to be able to get. But there's nothing different done on different teams, and these kids will find a way. They'll find a way to get themselves in position as we move forward. And is it a learned behavior? I don't know that. I don't have. Everybody in the world is going to have their own opinion. That's great. Have your own opinion. Could care less about your opinion, but I'm here to help these kids try to get better and get them in position to be a good football team and do the Aggies proud, do the Aggie fans proud. And that's what we've said from the very first day we've been here, is to give them an opportunity to be proud of the Aggie football team that's out there on the field, and we'll keep fighting.
Is there any further suspension for McCabe?
No.
If the conference can't put something on
They
him?
could, but it's my understanding right now that that's a no, he can play. Yeah, that's my understanding. I haven't got that officially, but I got it as officially as I can at this point. So I think he'll be back and be ready to play. It's a tough game for him to lose, tell you that much.
Is this a new rule, this targeting? Have they really done some things this year to try to do? Is this something new?
That's a major point of emphasis. It was on the tape that we show the kids at the first of the year. The officials sent out the tape, and it's a gut call now. It's a bang call, and they're definitely going to put themselves in position to be able to protect the kids, which I get. 100% agree with that. The ejection's hard to deal with. I haven't seen many of those. In fact, I've seen one. that I've seen. I'm sure maybe there's some other ones I don't know of that, but I've seen one at this point, and I've seen a lot of flags go in the air, and I've seen a lot of pretty vicious hits. So the guy made a call, and away we go, and we'll see. I mean, Carl will be able to look at it and give his opinion on it, and we can kind of go from there and see what the reaction is.
Is it all about leaving your feet? Is that
That's part of the rule, but it's impossible to say a defender when a ball in the air that if their guy was up in the air too. So if you're jumping for 2 balls and every time they hit, is it a penalty? Maybe it is. I don't know. So no matter how hard you hit them, so the head wasn't involved. It was a shoulder. It was a shoulder collision. The head was not involved in any way, shape, or form. And leaving your feet, that's a definition of a vertical jump, or is he catapulting out? And there's a lot that go into that rule, and I'm not an official. So again, I'm gonna live with the rule that they make, because that is my job, is to live with that and understand it, that they are trying to protect the kids, and ultimately the protection of the kids is very important. So I'm all in favor of that, but it's hard to swallow for McCade, obviously, in that game.
Talk about the young freshman quarterback for Wyoming and what you've seen from him on film.
Good player. He does a good job. He's elusive. He's made some plays with his feet. He's broke out of a couple big plays for him, and breaking out of potential sacks, and found a way out of, got the ball down the field by either throwing the ball or by running the ball. Seems to have pretty good command of the offense, and moving them, back and forth and up and down the field when he needs to. So I'm impressed with the young man. I think he's done a nice job. I know he's well coached, so he's taken the most of his opportunity as a freshman. So good player, and he's a pretty good support cast. I think their offensive line is big and physical, and does a lot to help him in those situations. They pass block pretty well.
Not too many times do you see a college game where it's 2 freshmen, true freshman quarterbacks going against one another.
Two youngsters going at it for sure, and you can see the youthfulness in both of them. When I say that, I mean that in a positive way. They just play the game with that little carefree attitude, I guess, and they believe they can make every play. So it's fun to watch, and you just they scare you a little bit sometimes, but they both have made some plays, definitely.
Speaking of Chucky, how do you grade out?
He played pretty well overall. Matt had him at a pretty good grade. He was pretty solid. I thought he made some tremendous plays with his feet. The play that he made when he got out of there and threw the ball to Motzi on the touchdown was a tremendous play, and he didn't turn the ball over. His zone reads were pretty good for the most part, and he did a nice job in that area. So overall, I think it was a solid game for him. And again, as we continue to grow and throw the ball a little bit more down the field, I think he'll have more opportunity to possibly make some plays in some different areas.
Wyoming's a pretty balanced team offensively too. They really look like they can run and throw too.
Yeah.
It's not like either side you have to really.
Yeah, they are. They're a balanced team, and they're going to be. They want to run the ball. They got two good backs that we see in there. They got 2 tight ends that they kind of roll through there that do a nice job. So they've got they're a diverse offense, and they do throw the ball and get into 10 personnel and kind of throw it around and still have some run game off of there, like we do at times. And then they'll get those 2 tight ends in there and more traditional stuff, and then they'll also run the option, the read option, different scenarios. So they're a multiple offense, and they've really changed kind of from game to game. So a little bit hard to get a beat on them, and especially that's a little bit even more worrisome when you know that they had a bye week off, because they didn't completely change offenses, but they did some things with changing of splits and offensive linemen, and they were a big split team, and then they went basically shoe to shoe with Nebraska. So there's some different things that they're doing that cause you to prepare a little different.
Is that they're looking at your defense and adjusting, do you think? Or do you think that's what they're doing, is looking at whoever they play and doing different?
Yeah, to a point. I'm sure there's a reason why they made those, drastic change in the splits from being very, not quite as wide as BYU, but they were a pretty wide-splitted team, and they went in against Nebraska, and they were pretty much right on shoe to shoe, not all the time, but most of the time. So obviously there's a reason for that. And the biggest thing with the Wyoming team is a team that a year ago was struggling to find a way to win and was playing tough in some games, and now they're finding a way to win these games. So regardless of what they're doing scheme-wise and where it sits, they flipped the switch to be able to find a way to win these games this year, and that's the biggest difference in them from a year ago to now.
Anything a mixed statement on the BYU game, preview Wyoming week, and then take a few questions.
Obviously, BYU is tough, just like Coach said. It's been hard on all of us. Obviously, the last 3 games we lost have been hard. They're all close games with within 7 or less points makes it tough. BYU had some good plays, and we had some things we need to work on and clean up a little bit on the offensive side in that game as far as that goes. And Wyoming, they're a good team. Like Coach said, they got some wins under the belt. They're doing things right over there. So we just got to pay attention to them on defense and stuff. They kind of run the same defense as BYU a little bit. They run the 3-4 overlook, and then they have the 4-3 underlook as well. So they have a little bit of variety with them. So we'll just get in our playbooks this week and come ready to play this next Saturday. So.
You kind of just mentioned it a little bit, Taryn, but give us a little more of a feeling of how this is. I mean, as I said to the coach, you'd think that these games kind of knock you down a little bit. Every single time it happens, you start to go, my God, how do you not have that happen?
I mean, it's definitely tough. One, me personally, it's my last year, so I want to get wins under my belt. I want to accomplish the goals that we've set out to accomplish, and we will. We've set those goals, and we're still in reach. I mean, the only way I can really relate it is kind of like Rocky. You know, he kept getting knocked down, round after round. And Coach always relates this to boxing and stuff, and how we need to go into each round ready to fight, you know. And that's just kind of the way I look at it. It's just kind of like Rocky always got knocked down, but he came back in the end. And obviously, everyone knows what happens when you watch those Rocky movies. So.
Have you ever been part of something like this? I know Turbin said you dealt with this in high school.
In high school, I didn't really deal with this too much. We went 7-0 until we lost our first game, and growing up, I never really dealt with it. So this is kind of a new thing for me, which makes it a little bit tougher.
From your perspective, what's missing in the last couple of minutes of those games from the offense? I mean, what's the difference? Because you guys have had an easier time scoring earlier in games.
I don't have an exact explanation for it. It just comes down to what Coach Anderson always says: players make plays. And I mean, the defense did a good job against BYU. Got a turnover for us with less than 5 minutes to go. And the offense, all they need to do is get one first down to end the game. And obviously, we couldn't get that done. And so there's little things that we need to work on that we can improve on to get that done. Because obviously, we can run the ball and stuff, and we did it all game. It shows. But it's just in those clutch situations we need to come through and just, like I said, players make plays, so we'll get it done.
What's the percentage in your position would you say that you block compared to your receiver? Is it as much as 80-20, or is it less than that?
I'd say, yeah, it's about 80-20 a little bit. I do majority of the blocking, but I get out on routes, and when I do, I mean, he'll find me. Chucky finds me sometimes when I'm open, and he just makes the right reads, and I trust what he's doing back there and stuff. And I trust Ball with his play calling, so we're just doing what we got to do to get it done.
You made a really nice catch on that one play. He was kind of back behind you and stuff.
Yeah, he was trying to back shoulder me, and he threw it kind of low, but I mean, I was a little bummed about Colorado last week when I dropped a low one, so I just kind of, you know, had this little edge that I got to catch every ball this game, so that's what I was trying to do.
So if you don't block as a tight end, you probably don't play a lot of this system.
Rephrase that, sorry. What do you mean?
You could be a blocker at first.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, we try to utilize our backs the best we can. I mean, we got Robert Turin, Kerwin Williams, and Michael Smith, and those three are great running backs and stuff, and so offensively, obviously, we need to create holes for them, and if you can run the ball, that opens up the play action and passing game. So,
do you find that your position, can you get more open in routes because there is attention to those guys and to maybe like a Morrison and Austin outside? Would you have more of a chance that way when it is a passing play?
I think so. With a lot of teams, the tight end is usually either covered by a safety, and I mean the mismatch there a lot of the times is good for the tight end. And then, like I said, a lot of defenses don't pay too much attention to the tight end when it comes to the route games, and so I think that's kind of advantage when it comes to that. But like I said, I trust what Baldwin's doing with his offense. So.
You walked on, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That was your situation here.
Yes, I walked on, and it took me. Obviously, I went through that coaching change, and before Coach Guy left, he was going to offer me a scholarship, and that's what he talked to me with mid-season. but then he ended up getting fired, and then I had to reprove myself to these coaches. And I mean, it's been a long, hard-fought battle, but yeah, I earned my way on. So.
Now, the first year these guys came, it's kind of like, were you hurt that season, or was it just that you were trying to gain their confidence?
A little bit of both, I guess. I mean, I went through those couple injuries when I broke my thumbs, to both spring balls 2 years in a row, and that set me back a little bit, but not too much. It's just maybe it was more of a, I don't know. It could have been a setback. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. Well, yeah, that definitely plays a factor. Is learning all these new plays. That makes it a little bit tougher. Learning new system when the new coach came in, but once I picked it up, it was fun, easy to go with, and it's working out now. So.
Obviously the BYU game, tough loss. You know, all three of our losses been tough, been close, down to the last second. You know, it's my senior year, so, you know, I took it kind of hard. But, you know, just at the end of the game, you know, Lloyd said, you know, players got to make the plays, and I believe that. So, you know, we just got to continue to keep fighting and just make the plays when the opportunity shows. As a Wyoming, you know, they're 3-1, so obviously they know how to win. They've been winning. And, you know, we got to just come to play. It's a tough opponent. Every Division I game is tough, so we'll just have to come out and play. I didn't watch too much film on them, so I don't know too much about them, but we got to, like I said, we just got to come to play and be ready and make the plays when opportunity shows.
Speaking of being ready, they just yell on the sidelines that you're in when they found out McCabe's thrown out, or what?
I'm back up McCain, so once I heard the ejection, I knew I was in. You know, I practice every week, you know, prepared to go in, just do as my coaches asked me to do, and you just got to be ready, because one play, you know, after one play, it could be a chance to go in, so you always got to be prepared.
How did you feel when you made the defensive turnover play?
You know, I was excited. You know, I thought, you know, we'd get a first down. Basically, the game was over. So, you know, I was pumped. I was, you know, excited, you know, happy.
Now, did you knock the ball out, or how did you strip it from him, or what ended up happening?
Actually, it was wrapped up, and I came in on the tackle, and I seen the ball pop out, and I just dove on it and made the play. So, that's it.
Is it a process? I mean, you've been around the program for a while. Is it a process learning how to win? And even if it is, and even if you're so much better than you have been in the past, you know, is it just difficult looking at the bottom line and still seeing 1 and 3?
The process of winning, you know, I just believe, like, we know how to win. I believe, you know, we're learning how to win, actually. You know, winning, like I said, is hard. It's hard, but, you know, we just got to make the plays. The plays is there to make. We just have to make them.
Talk about what it means to you as a DB to have Nevin Lawson out there, and it seems like that teams have recognized what a blanket type of corner he is. What does it mean to you, the rest of you guys, to have that to rely on?
I mean, Nevin is a great player. You know, we run a lot of man coverage, and, you know, we trust our corners out there. You know, it makes the safety job a lot easier, just having lockdown DBs. And, you know, he's been working hard and got a lot better from last year. And, you know, it makes the defense a lot easier, especially for the safeties, the whole secondary.
You just talk a little bit about, I know the coaches, everybody sees Kerwin if he does get a kickoff return. They're really, you know, everybody notices him. But the coaches always are telling us that if he gets a great kickoff return, it's usually because he followed you, is what they said.
Well, with Kerwin, you know, I love blocking for him because I know he's going to make a play. You know, I do my part. Bottom line, I do my part. They tell me who to block. You know, most dangerous man, just pick him up, and I do my part. I do what I have to do for the team.
How much study of film does that take, that part of it?
It doesn't take too much because I'm taking the most dangerous guy, like a missed block, obviously, or something like that. So, you know, I just throw my body in there, make the block, and let Cameron run.
How come when the ball's even kicked over a little bit this side, don't you throw him off and you get it? Why don't you say mine, and make him block?
Because Cameron is the main returner. I'm mostly the off returner. Like, my job is to block unless it's obviously kicked away to my side, then I'll be the returner.
It's not like he's hogging or anything.
No, he's not hogging. That's his job. Outside the hash. Outside the hash.
Anything else for Chris? All right. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.